Well, hello. I am at the Flat Mountain Pond Trailhead, and I am back in New Hampshire, back in the White Mountains, and I am here to do a one-night, possibly two-night backpacking trip. I'm going to be hiking out to a pond where there is an established campsite and a shelter, actually, too. Although I am intending to hammock camp during this trip, which I have missed greatly after being in the UK for 2 weeks and sleeping in a tent. It is really great to be back in the White Mountains. The last you saw me here, I was finishing up a little section of my hike through New Hampshire. I am not doing any of that today, but I'm doing something a little bit different this trip. I have designed a 20-mile backpacking loop. There are 2 potential campsites I can sleep at, which would make this a 2-night trip if I decide to do that. The other option is hike in 5 miles to the first campsite tonight and do a 15-miler tomorrow. So my plan for tomorrow is I am going to hike Sandwich Mountain, which is on 52 with a view, and it's one of the peaks that I still need for that list. Today's a little bit rainy, but tomorrow is supposed to be actually nice, so I want to save that for tomorrow. And then I can either spend another night at the base of the mountain, there's another campsite, or I can just continue the loop back to my car. So this is going to be a little bit impromptu. I know that the trails exist hypothetically for this loop that I'm doing, but I don't know in what shape they're in. This first 5 miles to our first campsite, which was Flat Mountain Pond, is going to be pretty flat and easy. So this will be a nice kind of getting back into things, hike, relaxing evening by a pond, have some dinner, hammock camp, and then tomorrow is going to be the more serious hiking. Almost right off the bat, we have a view of Flat Mountain. So that mountain, I don't think there's an established trail that goes up to it, but it is on the New Hampshire 200 highest list. So if I wanted to, I could bushwhack to it if I really want it for a peak for that list. I don't know how I'm going to be feeling about that, but that is a thing you can do. There are all these little, I don't know, fairy houses, gnome houses that someone made, and a little picket fence. That's super cute. The trail here isn't that much different from in the UK on the West Island Way, so this is a nice trail to kind of transition back to. I have to confess that I haven't done any hiking pretty much since that trip. So I got back on, well, I ended my hike on August 1st, and it's August 27th right now. So it's been over 3 weeks. Looks like the sun is starting to peek out, so that's good news. I knew it was supposed to clear up tonight and actually be pretty nice tonight and into tomorrow, so I figured today was a good day to, get a late start hiking to camp and then enjoy a really nice day tomorrow. The area we're in right now is the southern end of the White Mountains. It is also the Sandwich Range Wilderness, and I guess a lot of this is privately owned property, but it's conservation land, so we can hike on it. So thank you so much to these landowners for letting us use your property. There are a fair amount of mosquitoes out. They seem to only really be bugging me when I stop. Oh, nice. So we got to get across there, but looks like there used to be a bridge here, and now there isn't. So I have to find the best way to cross. Looks like there's a cairn on that side. They want you to cross somewhere around here. Ugh. I'm just gonna follow this trail upstream a little bit, because I figured there's a reason this is here. Maybe there's an easier place to cross up here. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. I think I'm gonna try this out. Ooh, the rocks are slippery though. If I can manage to keep my footing, the water doesn't look bad here, so. Getting wet either way. I should have thought of this earlier, but I think I'm just going to take my shoes off. So I ended up just taking one shoe off because that was the only one that needed to go in the water. Whew. That was more of a challenge than I think it needed to be. For better or for worse, we are not going to need to go back that way. I was also a little wrong about this trail being completely flat. We are going to be going up, but it isn't going to be anything too steep. Oh, lame. Got some blowdowns in the trail. Starting to wonder if this trail actually gets much traffic at all. The trail definitely has gotten more rugged and wild. Just stopped and gathered water at that stream because I don't think there's going to be much else in terms of flowing water, and the prospect of gathering pond water isn't super appealing to me. Well, I had dry feet up till now. I did take a little bit of a tumble in a giant puddle. I have about maybe a little more than a mile left to camp, and daylight is starting to fade. It is not sunset yet, but it's getting close, so I won't make it to camp by sunset, but I should be able to make it there before it's dark. Part of what slowed me down is that the path is a little windy and there's a lot of rocks to step over and mud to try and avoid, so I've been moving slower than I thought I would be. You just can't tell from the topography alone sometimes how easy or challenging a trail is going to be until you get out there. So we've made it to the section of trail that I'd heard about, which is this used to be an old railroad bed, and so there's still like the railroad ties. This area used to be like a logging area, so they would have a train that would go through here to carry out the logs, I guess. And of course, the minute I take my poncho off, the minute it starts raining again. And look at this. So much for trying to keep my feet dry. I don't even think this is avoidable. I guess there was going to be another water source. Alright. This one, I guess it feeds the pond over there. I don't know where the trail goes though. It said this way, but I don't see it, so I guess I'll just hop across and maybe I'll see it when I get over there. I just crossed and came onto this bank, and I'm trying to find the trail. I know it follows that pond, I just don't know where it is. I guess I'll check the map. Map indicates that it's closer to the pond, so I'm just gonna bushwhack through until I see something that loosely resembles a trail. Ooh, okay. Was I supposed to cross it? Yeah. So I guess I was supposed to follow the stream down over here. And here's the trail. This trail is pretty wild. Hopefully the views and the campsite make all of this worth it. Oh, that is nice. Wow, look how bright that moon already is. Okay, I do not see the trail. It's getting harder to navigate in the dark. Gonna need to put my headlamp on, I think. I have lost the trail. I have definitely lost the trail, but my map shows that it's down there somewhere. I don't see it. I don't know how to get down there. So I guess I'm just gonna keep bushwhacking. Okay, I still don't see the trail. This is aggravating. Okay, now it's saying it's somewhere back up this way. Damn it. Oh my god. I think I found it. Maybe. It looks vaguely like a trail. Oh god. Oh, this is so frustrating. Oh, thank goodness. That should mean we're about a quarter of a mile away from the shelter. And I am so ready to be done with this hike. Do not like this trail. Kind of worried about tomorrow now. If it's gonna be like this or worse. So I actually hear voices, so I guess I won't be alone at the shelter. I really expected no one was going to be out here because there was no cars in the parking lot. I guess you could go the opposite way that I had planned to go, but interesting. Is this way? What? Someone literally left all of their garbage trash? I don't know. I think that they must be coming back because I left some poles. I kind of think there's like a party going on or something. It's weird. Dinner tonight is wild mushroom risotto, and I have a canned Sauvignon Blanc. So I have my hammock set up, and so I'm just sitting under my tarp. The shelter's down that way. There's people in it right now, and there's actually a big group of people here. And some of them are one of the campsites. I guess that was all of their food that they left over there. So yeah, I'm just eating my dinner, and made the mistake of not bringing pants, and it's currently in the 50s, so it is a little chilly. So I'm gonna eat this real quick, hang my food, and then get in my hammock. So I just recently discovered that they sell Honey Stinger mini waffles in the grocery store. So I'm gonna have a few of these as a dessert. Oh, my hammock feels so comfortable right now. It's almost 10 o'clock. Those people are still very much awake and loud, but whatever. I am currently having insomnia, so I don't expect to get to sleep very early anyway. So I'm probably just gonna watch some YouTube videos. So this is probably going to be it for tonight. Tomorrow is a new day, and hopefully I can get a good start tomorrow and get some good miles in, and hopefully the trails aren't as bad. Good night. Good morning. Did not sleep very well. I think I didn't go to sleep until like 4. I woke up a couple hours ago because these people were just chanting and laughing and being very loud, so I haven't slept very well for the last couple hours. Just getting started. It is 12:26. Getting a very late start. I think today is going to be more of a 10-mile day. I picked a shorter route down, so since I decided I'm not going to camp tonight. I'm just going to go home tonight. So when I was looking at the trail that I would have taken to get down Sandwich Mountain, it sounded like it was going to be very difficult and also maybe dangerous with wet rocks. So I'm just going to go down the same way I go up. Still do a loop hike, but it'll be an easier loop hike. Hopefully easier. It sounds like it's going to be easier. So I've been kind of disappointed with this trip so far, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that the campsite was very busy and very loud, and those kids had their stuff like everywhere, so I couldn't really, take you around and show much of it because they were just still kind of hanging around that area. But I hope that I can make it up to Sandwich Mountain to make this trip not a total waste. I mean, it's still nice sleeping in my hammock, even if it wasn't enough sleep. So I think I found another section of the old railroad bed, because these definitely look like they could be old railroad ties, and it's very flat and wide trail through here. So that's pretty cool. On the map it kind of looks like a narrow loop. So wonder how much of that the railroad followed to sort of like skirt around the outside of the mountain. Look at that. It's like an actual piece of rail. There's more that way too. How neat. It looks like, I mean, you could almost still use it. I mean, just that piece. I just stepped in that and it went up to maybe there on my leg. Feet are definitely soaked right now, so I'm just not even gonna bother avoiding all this. So the rocks are very slippery here. Oh my gosh. It's almost up to my knees. Might as well stay in the water where I know how deep. Well, actually, I don't know how deep it is. Underneath the mud. Gross. Well, these feet will definitely be wet the rest of the day. Not that they weren't already damp, but now they're definitely soaked. Another mud pit, which I stepped in. Thankfully, there's a stream to wash off in now. All clean. These last couple miles have been like this and really pretty, other than the occasional, mud pit and stream crossing. But this section's been pretty dry, so it's really nice. We're gonna start climbing pretty soon. I got like 3,000 feet of elevation gain in 2 miles, so that's quite a lot of gain. But from what I've read, it's the easiest trail up Sandwich Mountain. So here's our junction. So we need to climb up towards Sandwich Dome when we come back. We'll go down that way, I think. It's cool that the railroad bed kind of continues that way. At the junction back there, I met a man who is sort of doing the same thing I'm doing, but in reverse. Well, I should say he did a version of what I was going to do, but in reverse. He climbed up the hard way up Sandwich Mountain the way I was going to originally go down, and he pretty much confirmed, like, yeah, I wouldn't go down that with a pack on. So, sounds like I made the good call there. This has been just a steady climb up, nothing too challenging, just kind of up and up and up. Man, is this steep. It's not gonna look like it, but wow, I'm not even halfway up yet, and I'm having to take a lot of short breaks to just catch my breath. Getting close to the summit now, and the ground has flattened out quite a bit, so it's been pretty nice this last little bit. So it's just before 3 o'clock. I think I made okay time getting up here. Definitely took some getting used to going up a steep incline again after not hiking in a while, and then even before that, hiking on a lot of flat ground. Last little push up to the summit, I think. Okay, I think we have reached the summit. Cool. So this is 52 with a view, number 39 for me. Okay, let's see if I can do this. So this one, that's Carrigan. And then over here we have the Hancocks. I hiked those last winter. And then we have, shoot. I think I already lost track. The bonds are in there somewhere. And then we have, these are the Osceolas. Then in the background here is Franconia Ridge. So, Liberty, I think, is that one, and Lincoln and Lafayette. Time for the hike back down. Did sit up there for a good few minutes and took my shoes and socks off to try and dry my feet even just for a little while, so that was good. I made it back to the junction, and that descent just seemed to go on and on. It's 5 o'clock now, and looks like we have 2.1 miles to get down to Bennett Street, and I think from there we've got a bit of a road walk, so yeah, at least I think that the hardest part of the descent is done. I spy some leaves starting to change, and some have actually fallen. That makes me happy. Fall is coming. We're walking along something that's labeled the Great Falls on the map. So we've made it to the junction where we now join the so-called Bennett Street, and I think it's a dirt road up into a certain point, then it becomes like an actual road, so could be a couple miles, something like that, to get back to the car. This must be that other trailhead. This one has its own little parking lot as well, so that's good to know. If I was to do this again, I would just take the Bennett Street Trail, and you could still camp at Flat Mountain Shelter because it's not really that far off from there, and it'd be easier to get there than from the other direction. And you would also have access to Sandwich Mountain and all the waterfalls. So I think it would be the best of all worlds to just start here and hike the Bennett Street Trail. That was actually a really nice trail. I made it back to the car. So it ended up being about a 17.7 mile loop altogether, including yesterday and today. And I do not recommend the route I took. So I instead am going to share a link to the route I would recommend if you choose to do a trip like this. So if you want to do a day hike or as a possible overnight, I'll share that. It's a little after 7, so glad that I made it here before dark. Very hungry though, so I'm gonna get some food, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Happy trails.